then we get highlights. We get lots of clips for social media.
I like, I don't know how many people caught it leading into, when we opened up, but you had those where the players were doing the "Can you hear me, bro?" game.
Yeah.
And literally they say there, I think it was San saying to, or Keyboy saying to Kyrie, don't take my buff, basically. Don't take my blue.
Yeah.
I know we call it purple, but don't take my blue is what he was saying. Don't take my buff. And that's the thing, man, with the Fanny, if you lose that buff, you're in a troubled position. And with the fact that you have this vision being provided from the Selena, the Baksha over here for Onyx Philippines, it might be difficult for him, but again, you can go ahead and continue to build up this lineup that will help the Fanny. And I think with the Ganakatra, that's already a great start. And, even the Mozkov in a sense.
That's not the only problem of the Fanny, actually. For now, previous Fanny, you can go all over the map and make a lot of noise, a lot of stuff. But now, it looks like you need to concentrate on one similar lane. So you don't have different choices. You need just focus on one lane. For example, just go gold, 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 etc. Because of the energy, you can't rotate as much as before.
Okay, mid lane pick for Onyx Indonesia, not yet seen as Onyx Philippines now. Show the Cho for Brusco comfort, so we get Cho versus Kalea, and we get either some comforts across the board here for Onyx PH. Gold. We get a jungle Baksha though, so it's a utility jungle versus an assassin jungle. But it looks like Onyx PH has a lineup that can pressure the Fanny significantly more.
And this is what I was saying. Like, if you're going to see utility junglers, like we saw from the graphic there earlier on, you just have to be able to go ahead and complement it. And that is so well done because you get vision for the Selena, you have great utility with the Cho and the Edith too. And like you said, pressure. So Onyx Indonesia goes and picks up the Valentina, like we saw yesterday, picked up a couple times from Onyx Philippines.
So it sounds just literally saying, I also want to play Selena. Give me Selena. So actually, if we speak about the trio, I would say that Onyx Philippines got a better triple lane.
Yeah, their lineup just looks like it can mess up the Fanny of Onyx too much, but maybe, just maybe, Sans' version of his Valentina play, and of course the Kalea for Keyboy, might just be enough to ensure that Kyrie is comfortable and that Kyrie can pop off on a Fanny that has struggled all tournament long. Welcome to the battle for third, but, I think it's time for us to toss you on over to our casters.
Thank you very much, Redmar. And right here, we got LaFell Leo on the mic for Game Battle of Third. Welcome. This is going to be Onyx versus Onyx, Indonesia against Philippines. Which one will be the better Onyx? Welcome to the Land of Dawn.
Based on yesterday's performances, both Onyx showed very clear patterns when it comes to their jungling. And it also shows here that even though we know these two junglers to be assassin specialists, I like how King Kong just said, you know what, I'm going to hunker down, put on my big boy pants and say, we need a utility jungler, give me the Baksha.
And you know what, this is a good time to see Super Prince as well as Kara really show their stuff, because even the panel said this is going to be a battle of mechanics, and so far I kind of feel like for all the fans, this is what they wanted.
We see here Kyrie crossing over, does not get much. It's anything. Onyx locking down that Little Wanderer. Great early prio for the Filipino squad here, given that they did end up with a lot of hard CC coming from that Cho, and even you see Kirk crossing over early.
Now, honestly, with this mid duo having the Cho as well as Selena, I myself am expecting a lot of tempo coming in from Onyx Philippines. If they don't do anything for the first 2 minutes, I kind of feel like for the first turtle, they could really take something here. It looks like Super Prince is not going to go over to Lupi, making sure that not going to make a lot of mistakes here.
King Kong bumping right in at the Keyboy here, and they dogpile on the Starboy, the MVP from 2023. It's taken out first blood for the Super Fam.
Yep, first blood goes over to Super Prince, and again, this is the tempo that Onyx Philippines really want. Making sure that Onyx ID, they don't have this tempo, especially looking at how they played yesterday. They kind of want to play slow, which is something that Onyx Philippines really don't want to allow them to do.
And you can see here, they're rolling out, rotating towards the turtle, spawning about 5 seconds while Kyrie taking his time with this small camp. He'll make it in time, no worries.
Yeah, but the question is, what is he aiming for? Because is he going to let go of the turtle? Because right now King Kong has secured it. Looks like Kyrie doesn't have an opportunity to really do anything. It looks like Lupi is stuck.
He's down. Keyboy spent his flicker just to be able to get out. Once bitten, twice shy. Onyx lose doubles on that. The major objective and a kill on their XP laner.
As of right now, Onyx Philippines with that turtle take having 1,000 gold advantage. Onyx ID, not an amazing start. They scale relatively well with this Moskov, but hey, you know what? Kelra on this Claude, I kind of feel like late game, it's going to be a monster too.
These Porcupines play quick. Just about 2.5 minutes in, do we get the time to check the emblems? LaFell, I'm loving the war cry on Kirk here. It's definitely a sign for him to say, you know what? We're overloaded on CC. We're very chunky as a lineup as a whole. How about I invest my major emblem talent in the damage?
Which is very interesting because Sans does not have the war cry. Usually when we see a Valentina going up against an Edith, you would opt for that too, just to make sure that you have a lot of damage. So the question is, what is Sans aiming for? Does he still want the Edith or does he want that Wave of Dragon? Either ways, this is going to be Sans' choice. And we might be even a little bit critical considering what Super Prince did yesterday.
It's interesting how a lot of our discussions are taken away from where we usually see the discussions go when you're talking about Onyx PH. We haven't talked about Kelra. We haven't really put much of a focus on the gold standard. Here he is going toe-to-toe against Severo. Isn't this a familiar sight? Is this not the same grand finals match we saw in an SPS earlier this year?
Yep, all the way from Johor Bahru. Severo at that point made his name, but again, going up against Kelra, it really gave a reality check. And as of right now, it looks like for both gold laners, they're just having a gold lane experience, just farming it up, not really getting involved with anything. I don't know. Turn number 2, maybe they'll start joining.
Coming up, same spot, upper quarter. Kelra here, just covering the exit point for Severo. The SOD could come out anytime. Kyrie securing his purple buff here. Doesn't want to be 2 seconds too late to the turtle like he was in the first.
Well, at least this time, Lupi is leashing the turtle over. But now it looks like 4 members of Onyx Philippines is ready to start a fight. No flicker is going to be used by Kirk.
Lupi covering up. Keyboy gets one. That's a lot of damage dropping in. Blazing the wet SOD thrown out. A lot of damage from Onyx ID. But Onyx PH are so chunky. Kelra takes down Lupi. Few more stray bullets hitting Sans. No one is able to commit to the turtle just yet. Onyx ID just suffered 1 loss.
Yeah, good engage coming in from Onyx ID, but just not enough damage here. And Kirk really making it difficult for them to go in because that return damage is so strong. But now Onyx ID is fast through the trigger. Kai was able to go back base, recover, and now they want to go for the turtle.
Here comes King Kong! Does not get the retribution. The wall between him and the major objective. Onyx ID scores 1. Kyrie blasting away Brusco, the enforcer, setting up a defensive barrier. Does not allow Onyx ID to push on forward. The Porcupine from Indonesia able to score.
And we can definitely see Kyrie is trying to balance out aggression as well as being careful, because having Brusco on this show, you don't want to underestimate him, because the moment you want to overcommit, you might get kicked. So this is good coming in from Kyrie. Try to see how much damage you're able to deal without getting caught.
Put that on a t-shirt. Overcommit, get kicked. And Onyx ID know that they can do the same. But it takes a 2-step process, LaFell. Sans needs to be able to see Brusco first. Sans needs to be able to see Kirk first. At that point, who do you prioritize?
I don't know, man, because at this point, I'm even thinking, what is Onyx ID waiting for? Are they waiting for Severo? Are they waiting for Sans? Are they waiting for an amazing engage by Keyboy or Lupi? Because at this time, it looks like they're buying time. The question is, buying for what?
That's a big question, because even I'm confused. 6 minutes in, we haven't seen Sans pick up a big ticket ult. Like, what is the Gila one doing? Arrow hits Lupi here. Onyx PH playing footsies, engages, but only for a second. Does get the ult on Super Prince of Selena's transformation. Kyrie hitting Kelra here for just a bit, pushes a wave up.
And this is why we see the Fanny hasn't been picked up too much. The energy is I would say it's such a big nerf, sure. Increasing damage so you can kill people easier, but that energy, the elusiveness is really what made Fanny who she is. Arrow not going to be hitting onto Lupi or Sans. Looks like the turtle is coming up 20 seconds later, and now Onyx Philippines engages.
And they find Sans, forcing him to hit the Primal Wrath, but defensively, Lupi using the Vitalize, putting a wall between him and his mid laner. Does AOG back. Double defensive ult spent by Onyx ID all this while. Top lane was getting worked on. Kyrie takes down that turret with the help of Keyboy.
We were talking about how both teams are mechanically gifted. Maybe they go for a lot of team fights, but look here, Leo, 7 minutes in and only 3-0. So both teams are really trying to play this macro game. And now to find a turtle here, Kyrie, can he do something? Keyboy coming for the back.
Finds that angle, gets with the Tsunami Slam, takes down Super Prince, serves it up to Lutfi, and that's a 4v3 here in the mid. Kyrie gets caught out. Cables on through, does not allow himself to get taken down. Blazing the wet by Kelra. Finds Sans in the back line. Luti as well. 3 go down for Onyx Philippines and trade-in for Prince and the Turtle.
Everything looks good for Onyx Indonesia, but then the moment Kelra came in, it was done. The team fight is over. But at least right now, Onyx ID, they traded up, making sure that Severo at least gets something for the team. But still, 2,000 goal lead here coming in from Onyx Philippines. We're going to be looking at a replay. It was a good engage coming in from Keyboy. And as we see, it's just not enough consistent damage coming in from Onyx ID because Sanj was so far away, he could not deal the damage. The moment he came in, Kelra comes in, and it just does a lot of damage.
I'll tell you, Lavelle, I did not see Kelra come in. I knew he was in the bottom lane. I didn't know he was going to make it in time, and it was just picture perfect. If he came in a second too late, Onyx ID would have gotten out of there, and there would have been no punish for Onyx. We would have seen a very different ending for the economy. But right now, the Super Fam are up, and the map looks like it belongs to them, and this is very tough for a Fanny. Even if you do have macro control, that means you're not lethal. That means you're not proactive.
You know what? Lore accurate. Claude is a thief, and that's what you do. You make sure you come in. No one sees you go in. No one sees you go out. Everything is clean. But yeah, I agree with you. Right now, there's a lot of lockdown. So even Kyrie kind of split where is going to be very, very difficult. Even just going up against Kirk, you don't even have enough damage to kill him. And if he catches you, you're dead. You're donezo. Or you just have to leave.
Yep, look at this. Kirk playing man-to-man defense against Kyrie. An arrow catches one. Lutpi, will he survive? The answer is no. The way of the dragon and everything. But the kitchen sink thrown at him. That's his 4th death here, 9 minutes in.
Tanky is member of Onyx Indonesia, but 1 against 4. There's nothing much that you can do as of right now. Onyx ID, they're struggling to actually dish out the damage. So I really feel like that's the biggest problem, especially when you have a Fanny in your composition, is that if you don't do well the first 6 minutes, you're forced to play macro. You're forced to wait for the late game and then just wait for your opponents to misposition. Let the Fanny get a crucial target, either Super Prince or Kelra, and then hope Severo gets everything else.
And you mentioned the energy conundrum. The fact that you have to deal with so many things on the map wave-wise, and then you're also thinking, how can I punish, how can I fight? That's on you, the energy, and they find a kick, suddenly the flicker, and the way of the dragon, compromising Lutfi and Kyrie. That's 2 down. Onyx Philippines have the man advantage. Onyx ID, check in range. They can't steal this Lord. Brusco at 1 HP, looking for more. Looking for the knock-up on Sans and Keyboy. They're lucky to even be alive. Severo this whole time, buying time in the bottom lane. But Super Prince, so easy to answer. Onyx ID, they get nothing.
Because in that fight, Brusco was the decisive one. He went in, went for the kick, as we saw Keyboy using the conceal, trying to get into position, but again, a little bit too late. We see the hesitation coming in from Keyboy, and I don't blame him, man. If I was a roamer in this situation, I'm going to catch someone, but can you kill? I think you can. So this is a big problem coming in from Onyx Indonesia. They don't have the momentum. They don't have the damage. They have nothing. Onyx Philippines, almost 5,000 gold ahead.
Contrary to the narrative set prior to the match starting, this feels like a familiar match. This feels like a match set at home in the backyard because they are Onyx versus Onyx. But no, this is the cleanest we've ever seen Onyx Philippines. This is the form we've seen them when they won in Season 14. A purple buff attempt here. Not going to happen. Kyrie secures, but they do find Sans, and this doesn't happen. Lavelle, you know this doesn't happen. Sans at 0-2-0.
Dude, this is such a rare sight, and now Onyx Philippines, they're sieging the mid turret. As of right now, only 1 Tier 2 turret is still available up top, and they go for Severo.
Tsunami Slam, serving up 1. Kelra survives. How did he do that? Purify plus BMI. Onyx ID can't catch a break, even underneath Tier 1. They're gonna lose Lutpi. Kirk gets a kill.
Kirk just stood still, dealt the damage, and asked a question. What you gonna do about it? I'm not moving. You do something. It looks like they're just dead. Right now, Onyx Philippines has total control of the map. Looking at the items here as well, big difference in terms of the goal lane here, 9,700 against 8,100. So even if you're trying to hope for Severo to make a play, he doesn't have the resources just yet. I'm pretty sure he wants that Malefic done, but still looking for that gold.
Onyx ID fortunate to have used their Holy Shields to maximum efficiency. We just hit the 12-minute mark, folks, and that is when the Holy Shields get popped naturally. So that means by keeping all their inhibitors, they're able to somehow plan for a post-late game comeback. But the question still stands, Lefel, you posted it about 5 minutes ago. What are they waiting for?
Because if we're looking at the itemization here, looking at the Valentina, oh, hold on, looks like they want to engage onto Onic ID.
And they do find a lot. Suns put down to a fifth of his health, forced to use the Primal Wrath here. AOG defensively used. Keyboy gets taken down amongst the weight of the whole Super Fam. A free pickoff. And now Onic ID are forced to defend. Oh, look at this. The Blazing Duet used to engage, forcing Suns back. Lutfi looking for a taunt. The Unbreakable not going to find the gold standard. King Kong putting up a wall between him and the push. Finally, down goes the inhibitor. Not enough damage coming from Severo. Onic PH back off happy with the siege.
Onic PH has just been punishing the front lines. Whoever they catch, Lupi, Keyboy, they're going to take them down. Suns, if they're lucky. Severo now having the Malefic Gun, he has 4 items. There is potential for them to do something here. But again, the front lines are not able to set anything up.
Oh.
The Lord's quarter health here looks like they're going to reset it.
Onic Philippines respecting the Indonesians' attempt. They know that through Sans and Lutfi alone, suddenly things could go sideways based on what Sans has stolen. But again, he can't even get in range. And that's a free Lord for Onic PH. They're going to roll up into the side lanes and simulate an endgame push, because this could be it, Lefel.
Yeah, honestly, looking at the items coming in from Sans using this Valentina is going more for damage. Having the Lightning Truncheon as well as the Glowing Staff and having the Arcane Boots for more penetration, you would assume that there's going to be more damage. But the fact that he completed it too late, everyone has Magic Resist at this point.
Here we are, Lord, marching up to mid. Kyrie cutting that top lane. Brrr, yeah, Blazing Duet by Kelra. Starting it up because Onic ID are looking for the smoke. Kyrie looking for Kelra. Does find him. So does the SOD, but there's a lot of chunky bodies keeping the gold standard guard. And they're going to at least protect that bottom lane and top lane. Onic ID doing pretty well for the situation.
Ooh, no! The pause came in during the conceal.
Okay, we can counter blessings and at least say it didn't happen during the engagement.
Yeah.
It happened pre-engagement, and I'm pretty sure given our new time break feature,
Oh, yeah.
we can fix this. So whatever's ailing our in-game situation, I'm pretty sure this is something that is reparable.
Yeah, I like King Kong's reaction as well as that. Bro, we're about to smoke you. Just
Come
let
on.
it happen, right? But either ways, we can see here, I like that this narrative, Onic versus Onic, third place match, they're giving it their all. Onic Philippines, if they can stomp Onic ID, they'll do that, right? So I kind of feel like Onic ID, they also got to rethink what's going to happen in game number 2, because this is a very risky draft that they drafted for themselves, and it just didn't work out.
But Lefel, imagine the plot twist if some way, somehow, Onic PH don't win this.
Hey.
What if some way, somehow,
Hey.
ID are able to pull something out? I don't even know what it is. I don't even know where to start to try and weave that tale, but what if they do?
Talk about Dr. Sulaiman Al-Habib hot take. Now, that's a pretty big hot take. If Onic ID could do it, damn. How? But yeah, now we're resuming back into the game here. Looks like still a successful defense coming in from Onic ID. The waves are still far away, so Onic Philippines, they have to reset. But still, 8,000 gold lead, that's a big hurdle for Onic ID.
It does come at the cost of a third of the chunk of the top lane inhibitor, so I guess Onic PH got something there, you know, an investment into that top lane push, especially given Lord will be spawning in the lower quarter in a minute and a half. I just checked the items and the gold gain. Here we go, one more look. You see what I'm seeing, Lefel? 5,000 gold between Kirk and Lutfi.
Oh my goodness, man. And
That's a carry, Edith, if I've ever seen one.
yeah, Stardom Scythe as well. No wonder he can do a lot of damage and he can stand up front. And this is also a problem. Keyboy, who is he going to catch? Right? Logically, going to get Kelra. But hey, in a few seconds, he's going to have that Purify.
Super Prince is the best target. He's done it once this game. Now the siege continues. AOG by Lutfi. Right underneath here. 3 down bottom. Brusco's very low, forced to use that winner crown. BJ Brusco Paro gets taken down. The trade, though. Oh, my lord. Nothing for Onic PH. The shutdown on the Kirk. SOD by Severo. LaFell, this is what we were saying. What if some way somehow Onyx are able to dig deep? And I'm talking about Onyx ID.
What we were saying, what you were saying, if you called it and it does happen,
Caster Curse.
cast a curse. Or we're just too good at our jobs. But either ways, like I said, it's not over yet. 16 minutes in. In about, what, 3 minutes, the goal won't matter anymore. At that point, everyone has their core items. Onyx ID looking at the mid lane here, trying to secure this mid turret. Kyrie goes in. Can he get something? He gets stunned up. He gets stunned up again.
That's a half-second arrow. Super Prince throwed out just to stop Kyrie from getting the Kelra. And you see this, a single moment of weakness, a vulnerability, wherein they lack two of their key members. Onyx PH suddenly lose the whole mid lane.
With the amount of damage Savero has done, I'm surprised he has no kills. I'm also surprised he has no deaths. So far, Savero is having an amazing Moskov game. If Onyx ID came back, hey, Savero's stocks goes up top.
And that's exactly what Onyx PH failed to do in the early to mid. They did not apply any pressure to the gold lane. This is what we were talking about, the gold lane experience. Now the Lord, down to a fifth. Keyboy finds one, Tsunami Slam onto Brusco. He's put down to a tenth of his health. Lutpi goes down though, despite the revitalized. Kelra serves the bucket to Kirk, taking down Sans. Here comes Kyrie into the back line. Super Prince backing out. Brusco gets taken down by Savero. The spears in the face. Keyboy gets killed. A double kill for the Kirk attack. 3 for 1 the trade. Where's Savero going? Onyx PH don't want to take pursuit. Kyrie though, deep behind enemy lines. King Kong and Kirk going for the pursuit, cutting the exit. Oh, he's low on energy, doesn't have a purple buff. Can King Kong do it?
Okay, looks like he's able to get away. King Kong trying to stop him, and looks like he's not able to. Oh, he stopped Kyrie, but still the cable saved him. But now the Lord. You saved yourself one time. The Lord comes in. Kyrie, Savero, Lupi, can you defend this? All members of Onyx Philippines, except for Brusco and the Lord, are marching in.
The siege, the possible end angle for Onyx PH. Lutpi and Savero trying to clear. They're saving that top lane inhibitor. Keyboy might catch some smoke here. Arrow onto Lutpi. Onyx PH refuses to engage. They're going to take this low. They're going to go the defensive, the disciplined route. Kyrie, oh no, unable to quell Onyx PH. A successful grant that purple for King Kong.
Let me just say, Leo, 4 to 5 months ago, this Fanny would have been a big problem, but now looks like they're going in. King Kong got caught.
Oh no! The Spear of Misery puts him down to 0 health. Savero scores a kill. Could it be a trade for Lutpi? AOG canceled out. Kirk in the middle of 5 members of Onyx ID. Sans gets another. 2 for none once more. Onyx ID pull it out from their heart of hearts.
What did you saw, Leo, that you predicted this? I thought the game would have been over 5 to 6 minutes ago.
I saw the clouds part, and I saw the Sky Kings. Onyx ID not gonna lay down and take this. Not so fast. Oh, beautiful placement. Savero has a killer instinct unlike any.
And at this point, Keyboard says, I don't care who. Front line, back line, mid line, anyone. I'm going to catch someone, because at this point, Sans and Savero has that damage. Looks like Blazing Duet use it. Got hit!
And they do get a kick. Sans falls. Kelra already used the Blazing Duet. Arrow on the one. Lutpi able to save Savero, block that projectile. Kyrie also protecting Keyboy now. The KK connection from Indonesia, keeping them at bay. And that Super Prince dashing through. Keyboy is gonna go down here. No way the Starboy survives. Kelra gets another. 2 down for Onyx ID.
Oh no, Kyrie is stunned, but still saved by his steel cables. I gotta tell you, someone give this Fanny some caffeine, because he has no energy, man. Every time he dives in, there's nothing left. The tank is empty.
That has
You
been
can't even ult.
that has been the risk of playing a Fanny. Again, you do get a mechanically unique and honestly broken hero if you're talking about map mobility, but if you can't make peace with the fact that your energy dictates what you're allowed to do, this is what happens. SOD with a dream. Not gonna happen. Another Lord for Onyx. 0 for Onyx ID, by the way. I might be confusing, folks, but
Yeah.
you get the picture.
Honestly, Fanny just proves you still need cardio. You need that standard. Now, Brusco is able to kick. Looks like Lupi still survives for now. And it looks like Onyx ID are in still good position. But again, They did this before. They got to do it again. The Lord is marching up mid, but at least the waves aren't sync. They only got to worry about 2 waves.
Oh, arrow thrown out. Savero catches it. Baksha Unite here. Coming through. Kirk with the Primal Wrath able to take down Savero. His first death in this whole 21-minute game. Triple kill for Kirk. Give him the Savage. There it is. The Kirk hit back. Takes down all of the Sky Kings. Game 1.